Hello everyone, I am your English teacher Shikha ma'am. Now today we are going to start our English course book New Broadway. I'm going to explain the chapter line by line in English. You all are supposed to listen to the explanation very carefully, and if you are having the book, keep your finger under the line, whatever the line I am reading. Okay, so now starting. One important thing I want to tell you that this is the format of your book. The picture on your screen that you can see, this is the format of your book, means chapter number 1, Rashid's School at Okhla. If you are having the book, you must having these pictures and this format in your book. But I'm going to explain the chapter from the other text. The text is same, the story is same, line by line, word by word, everything is same, but only the picture format is not given because right now I am not having the book. That's why I have taken out the text from any other sources so that you can understand easily. Okay, so listen to the explanation, keep the finger under the line. Each line and each word is same in the text, whatever the text I'm going to read. Rashid School at Okhla by Shanta Rama Rao. Kitty and I drove away from Delhi along the straight. Means there are two characters in the story, Kitty and one another person, and they are going to Delhi. Flat Agra Road. Straight means quite straight, okay? And they are going to Agra Road. It was hot with all the still accumulated heat of summer concentrated in that autumn day. Now, stale is called that is not fresh, and accumulated means integrated, collected. Heat, summer, concentrated is called very much focused. Okay, so the day when Kitty and the another person was going to Delhi, that day was very hot, and it is looking like that summer season has gone, autumn season has come, but on that day all the summer season's heat was collected and forced on that day, means the autumn that day was very hot. Behind us the dust rolled upward in the thick red clouds, means on the road they are going, that is full of mud, red mud. Okay, so when they were going ahead, at the back, when the car moves, the dust, the cloud of the dust goes na at the back, like that the red color clouds were moving in the air because they are going on the road, and on that road red color mud was there. Kitty kept her hand casually and frequently on the horn while we wound our way through the morning traffic. Now, Kitty was driving the car, and wherever as we are moving, Kitty was giving horn because that was morning traffic. In the morning time, basically a lot of high traffic is there, so Kitty has to blow the horn again. We passed the long lines of bullock carts. Now there are so many bullock carts were there because we are going through the village road, so many bullock carts were also there on the road with their unoiled axle screaming. Now unoiled means in which that is not oil, that is not put oil, means that was very dry, not greasy. Axle means the type of nail that fixes two wheels. Okay, in bullock cars there are four wheels, so axle join one wheel to another wheel, and screaming is called to produce the sound, to making the sound, means the bullock carts which were running on the road, their wheel were making sounds, a device which is deliberately intended to keep the bullocks awake. And there were means the sound, the wheel sound that was coming na, that was deliberately, means that was coming by intention, that was coming by intention, so that bullock are not going to sleep, because the way, village to city, that is very long way, and has to go, the bull has to go till a wrong way for long time. So bull are not going to sleep. That's why the type of device, the nail has been fixed in the wheel, that produce sound, that make sound and continuously make sound, and with that sound bull is not going to be sleep, but which seems to have no effect on the drivers who sleeps calmly on top of their loads. But one of the man who was driving the bull carts, and the other man was there, and he just was sleeping on the load. Load means something was kept in the bull carts, like we dry hay or vegetable or any other thing that is carried from one place to another place. So another driver, the man with the driver, he was sleeping on that thing, over that thing, and he is not getting disturbed by this sound, by the wheel sound. The camel trains were more orderly. Now camel trains means, train is called, so many camel cart was there, means one camel cart, and after that another camel cart were coming, and then another camel cart was coming. So there is a line of the camel carts, okay, and they were moving very orderly in an order. Their drivers had threaded ropes through their nose of the animals to facilitate their control. Now, there was a thick rope that has been inserted through the nose of camel, and then driver was holding that thread so that they can control over the camel. Yet it still took the train about a quarter of an hour to swing away from the center of the road and allows us to pass. Now, quarter of an hour means 15 minutes. An hour is called 60 minutes. So quarter of an hour means 15 minutes. So many bull carts and so many camel carts were going. So means there is a very much good traffic jam on the road. So writer was saying, we were thinking a car is going to be passed from this side, and it will take at least 15 minutes to pass. The camel owners were more prosperous than the bullock owners. Now prosperous is called wealthy, having more facility. So whatever an owner means master. So whoever the camel master, they were more prosperous, more wealthy, having more facility than the bulk owners, bulk masters. The household utensils on the last animal were made of silver instead of brass. Now it is describing the thing, what is kept in the cart. So some silver utensils were kept instead of brass. Now brass is the metal through which you can say the yellow color metal was there, that are kept in worship in a puja ghar, okay, and silver color jewelry are made from the silver. So silver is rather costlier than brass. So one of the cart master is having the silver utensils. Utensils means like bowl, plate and big vessel, and so many other things. So they are made of silver instead of brass. So for this he is saying camel master was more wealthier than the bulk master. Merchants, Kitty gasped. Now Kitty gasped means just apply her mind and said merchants, they may be traders, they may be businessmen on their way back to Agra, and they are going back to Agra. Okhla, when we reached it, proved to be a scatter of huts with earthen walls plastered with cow dung, which kept the interiors cool during the day. Now they reached to Okhla. Now they reached to Okhla, and there were so many huts were there. Means it's a type of village. Okhla was just seeming like a village, and scattered means spread. Means at one place, then another place, then another. After some distance, one hut was there. Then after some distance, another hut was there. So scattered of us, a line of hut was there. That was earthen walls. Earthen walls means mud walls. Okay, the walls were made of mud, and then plastered means that was covered with cow dung. Okay, cow dung, you must have seen in the villages, the cow dung was applied over the wall. So that was applied, and that why it is applied, because in village they are not going to use AC and cooler and fan during the summer season. So this cow dung and mud walls keep their home and hut cool during the summers. and was used as fuel when it had dried. Now cow dung is as well used as a fuel also. You must have seen the chula, and they put that cow dung in round shape, and use that in cooking the food. Now, there was an absurdly tiny shop whose proprietor was a member of the village panchayat. Now, on the way, there was a tiny means small, absurdly means not very order properly. That means so many things are scattered here and there, and means the shop was not fixed or maintained very much clearly, absurdly and very untidy, unclean. Okay, you can say. So there was a little shop, unclean, and the proprietor is called master, means a shopkeeper who was sitting on the shop. He was the member of village panchayat, the five men who are traditionally elected as governors of the village. Now what is village panchayat? Panchayat means five. Okay, so five members were there, and five members collectively make village panchayat. So out of those five members, one of the man was the shopkeeper who was also the member of panchayat. He acted as the village bank as well as the village letter writer. Now, this shopkeeper must be educated. That's why he was acting like a village bank. Bank, where all the details related to receiving and giving of the money is kept. So, okay, but that is not officially, private and personally. Means personally, if any man come to give any type of information regarding keeping and receiving and allowing money, then he is going to keep. And he was also a village letter writer, means in village many of the peoples are illiterate, they don't know how to write and how to read, and this shopkeeper was literate. So all the persons came, just take it and write a letter for me, just do this work for me, like that. Okay, like all Indian villages, Okhla was deserted at that time in the morning. Now deserted means there was no one, only sand was there on the road, and it is too hot, and it is very calmly, very lonely, quite in the morning. Why? Because in the morning you cannot see the roads and the village too much crowded. As the day go on, so everybody start coming out of the home and doing their work, but in the morning, in the very morning, all the village look like very calm. Most of the people were walking in the fields, means this was the village, so they were walking in the field, means most of the people cannot be seen on the road. On the road, bull carts, camel carts and car were there, and people were walking in fields. And the women had gathered at the well, which was their meeting place in center of gossip. Now well is something in which we have water, and we have to pull out the water in the bucket. Okay, so that was a place where all the women collect in the morning, and they start gossiping. You very well know what is the meaning of gossiping. As we turned up the dry earth track towards the school, now earth track towards dry earth track means that was not a builted road, means in village you cannot find a cemented or a builted road. Okay, that was the mud road. Okay, so that's why they are saying their car moved towards the school, means Kitty and the other person is going towards school. The women stood with their terracotta urns on their hats watching us. Now terracotta urns is called, in which they fill water, that is simply called ghada. Okay, so they came to fill water in their earthen pots. Earthen pots means the pots that were made of mud. Okay, that is called ghada. Okay, so all the women, they collected on well to fill water in their earthen pots, and when we were going to in a car, they all were looking at us. Kitty stopped the car. Is Rashid ji up at the school? Now Kitty stopped the car, and to one of the ladies she asked, Rashid ji is there in the school, means Rashid ji is another person in the story. She called. After they had answered us, we had to stay and talk to them. Now they were who? they came for the women who are collected there to fill the water. Now they were answering. Now we have to stay that there, for there were countless things they wanted to know about me, a stranger. Now when I asked the question about Rashid ji, now the woman started asking so many other questions because I was a stranger for them. Why? Because I was a new person in the village. Obviously, they are going to ask so many questions with me. Was I married? Now, one of the lady asked me, "Are you married?" No. They told me comfortingly not to worry. But they are just asking me, not like probing the question like police, or asking me the question in very angry way. No, they are asking me the question in just a normal way. I still looked young even if I was nearly 17. Means the girl Kitty was just 17, but it certainly was not too early to start looking if I didn't want to bring shame on my unfortunate mother. Means it is written, means her mother, means Kitty's mother was looking much older, but Kitty was just 17, so it is not looking like a 17 girl must be a married girl. Why was I here? How long would I stay? Now these are the questions, different questions asked by women. Why you are here? Why do you come here? And till how long you are going to here? So many questions asked by women to Kitty. Rashid came out to meet us in front of school. Now we were in front of school. Now Kitty reached school and Rashid was out of the school to meet her. He was a small man, deceptively frail looking for one of his immense energy. Now he was a little man, means he was having a very short height, and deceptively is called not exactly, not real. Okay, not real, but frail is called weak, and looking means not really very weak. And immense is called very much, and energy, with power. He was means Rashid was a small man, but whatever the weak looking, means he was very weak, means thin, but that was not real, because he has very much energy to work, because a thin person also have very much energy to work. He made himself understood as much by the gestures of his hand as by his fluid English. Now gestures is called to make sign, means when you are not speaking something and you making sign with your hands, with your eyes, that is called gestures. And fluid is called very fluent, means not very right. Fluent is called very fluid, and you can say perfect. Okay, so Rashid can speak very good English, so he was talking us with the gesture, with different sign, and with his perfect English. I am so glad you could come, he said. Now Rashid said that he was happy that Kitty came to meet him, enunciating each syllable clearly. Now enunciating is called to pronounce, to speak, and syllable is called one letter. Okay, so means it is already described that Rashid was speaking perfect English. So each letter, whatever he was speaking, that was coming very clear. We, of course, have been at work since 5:30. Now Kitty was saying with the other man that yes, we are also going to complete our work since 5:30. 5:30 means half past, that is called 5:30. Okay, so they are here to work, means they are here near about 5:30. At 5:30 we like to begin early in the cool of the day so that we can let the children rest through the hot hours. Now Rashid was saying that we are not going to let the children to work start early in the morning. We are going a little late from the early morning so that it become really cool. Means in the starting morning, like after 5:30 and till the sun gets on our head, the time is really cool, so that we can let the children rest. Okay, through the hot hours. So the children are supposed to work after 5:30 till the time the sun is get hotter, so that the children are not going to fatigue, or children are not going to tired. So these all things told by Rashid to Kitty, that all the students are supposed to start work after 5:30 in the morning, and they work till sun get hotter, means near about 18 on or 12 o'clock, means 5:30 to 12 o'clock student need to work. He led us across the yard. Now yard is called something open part of the school, of the home, that is called angan. Okay, so now we are passing through a yard on three sides of which were the earthen school building. Now the school was made of mud. Earthen school means all the school wall were made of mud. Turning to me, he explained. Now he was going ahead and we were following. So he turned back and told me, you must think this is all very primitive. But to us, primitive is called very primary, very old, okay, looking like. Rashid was saying to Kitty, you were saying this is very old and very primary, but for us, in a suddenly florid tone. Florid is called something decorative, when you make your word very decorative with the special words like that. Florid tone is called decorative tone. Okay, so he was just turned and start speaking suddenly in a decorative tone. It is the realization of a dream. Sometime I go into Delhi to have dinner with Kitty ji. Realization of dream means realization when you realize something, when you feel something. Okay, so if we are having a school made of mud, but still it is complete like a dream, because in village if there is a school, it is just like a dream. So again, he continuing. He was saying, sometime he go to Delhi, means Kitty ji and Rashid ji was the familiar person, and they had dinner before some time, like in Delhi, or see some other friends, and other friends were also there, and everywhere I hear people talking about this political consciousness we must bring to the interculate millions, the villagers, millions of India. Now, he was talking when they gather, the other friends and Kitty ji and Rashid, they all gathered at one place and had dinner in Delhi. So what was they all talk, okay? They all had started conversation, and what the conversation about? That was about political consciousness. Now, consciousness is just about to wake up your eyes, means to be very vigilant about something, to be very careful about something, to be very with open minded, means you know the political criteria. Okay, so they talk about the politics. And interculate means when you are not comfortable to express your idea, means if you have the education about something, if you have the information about something, only that you can speak on that topic. But for the villagers, millions means so many people of India, they are having so much thing in their heart, but they are not having information, proper information about that. Okay, so that they can speak. So when they collected with the friends to take dinner, so some friends were having the information of the politics, but some were not having. So he was talking about those peoples who were not having the feeling, means interculate means to express the feeling, unable to express the feeling. And I say to them, this is not a present we can give to the villagers. We cannot say, come, it is Christmas, here is a gift. And he was talking, Rashid was basically from the side of villagers, and he was saying, villagers are not going to understand about any political things or political consciousness. They are very innocent people. We cannot say, see, this is Christmas and here is a gift. They don't know. They don't know about Christmas. They know about their festival. We cannot make them understand about Christmas. We can only help them. They just want we go and help them whatever they want. We cannot force them to learn our things, but we have to help them. Perhaps we can even give an impetus. Perhaps is called maybe. Okay, and impetus is called forcing energy to move, means we can just force them to do something. But the achievement, what achievement is called? Something regard. Okay, something like you won the honor. Okay, like you say na, prize and present and award type of thing. So we cannot we can just tell them, we can make them understand, we can help them, and we can force them ki you do this, this will be in your benefit, and this will be like a achievement or an award that lies with them. Okay, and lies is called, this is actually with them, means this is, if we are going to help them, only then we are going to do justice with them. He looked at me trying to gauge my reaction. Now gauge is called something to measure, Measure is called when you measure something from a scale, from thermometer, like that. Okay, and here what is going to be measured? Reaction. Means if I said all these things to Kitty, now he looked at me. The other person was looking at कि whatever I said about all this thing about the villagers, now I want the reaction of the other person, what he is going to tell about. But I am afraid I am only a voice crying inner an Indian village. Means he was a little afraid, he was having a little fear because he was the only person who was speaking from the side of villagers. As we reached the main school building, I saw that all the doorways were decorated with enormous yellow sunflowers painted. I was told by the children. Now, as Kitty and the other person enter in school, then so many doors were there in the school and they all were decorated with the enormous. Enormous is something called very much, so many in numbers. Means many in numbers, enormous. So there were many sunflowers made of the paper and they were painted in yellow color by the children, and Rashid told me this. They make the color themselves, Rashid said, because of course we can't afford to buy them. Now the paint means they made the sunflower with the paper, and the paint that is used by children on to make the sunflower, that paint was also made by the student. Why? Because they cannot go in the market and buy so expensive color. Nevertheless, even in a matter as small as this, okay, the earth book looks after her own. Means he was again saying this is not the means of this is very small thing, because all the earth is looking like this is my earth. This started him off on a new speech. Now he started giving new speech about this topic. He told me something of the history of the school. Now he was talking about the past days, the history days of the school, which in a small way was the history of the whole educational moment which the Congress party had inaugurated through the medium of the village school. Now these schools were inaugurated and started when the Congress party was there. So this is very past, means very past days talk he was talking about, and he was talking just about the educational movement. Means at that time he was talking about when the education was going in a type of movement. Means everybody was talking the importance of the education, everybody was talking about the opening of the school in that time in the village, because in cities we are do having, but in this village if you are going to open a school, this is going to be take a type of movement. And inaugurated is called something when you are inaugurated, when you start, okay, to start the school in village. To begin with, the villagers were suspicious. Suspicious is called not very much clear. Means when they are starting with the school in the village, they were not very clear because villagers cannot understand this importance of the school. It was hard, Rashid said. So it was very hard to make villagers ready to open a school in their village, to persuade them that they were really getting something for nothing. Now persuade is called to give them an allure, means to provide them, like persuade them. We persuade na little child, if you do this work I'll give you a chocolate, like that. Means the villagers were uneducated, okay, we have to make them ready according to their way, not according to our intelligence. We have to help them, we have to understand their mind, and according to their mindset we have to make them understand, and we have to persuade them that you are going to be benefited if the school is going to be open in your village, then this will be benefit for you. Nothing is there that you can lose in that. School will be very benefit for you. And even when that was accomplished is called completed, okay, when it is going to be complete, they were not at all sure that they wanted their children to leave their homes. But again, first we have to make them understand that after opening a school you are going to get benefit from the school. But later one big challenge was that we have to make understand, then please take your children out of the home and send them to school, okay. But they are not ready, so this is not very easy task, this is also very difficult task to take their children out of the home and let them come to school. The adult villagers had found in their their own lives no use of for education or indeed for literacy, because so many other peoples, elder peoples means old, whatever the old persons in the village, they never went to school, so they are not understanding the importance of the school, and the same thing they are thinking about their children, means why, what is the benefit, why our children is going to school? No, this is, there is not, indeed is called very much required, very much necessary. So literacy is called education, means they are not going knowing about the importance of the literacy, importance of the education, because they never went to school in their lifetime. A few of them spoke of a previous adult literacy campaign into which they had been drawn. Now, some of the literacy campaign, literacy type of movement, educational movement, previous is called the past. Means in past, adult is called to give the education, to provide education to big people, to elder people, not to student. Okay. Means a student can go to school, but the big people, the young man, the adult man, they cannot go to school. So to provide education in the adult peoples, a type of movement started from time to time in different villages. So they are talking about कि yes, we do have some attended some of the educational movement, but we never went to school. They remembered that it had taken a quicker once, a short enough time to learn to read and write. Now they were saying, yes, if a person need to read and write, then quickly, means it will take very less time, you can learn read and write. To means short enough time, means you not need to very long time to how to read and how to write, means exactly they are not understanding the importance of education. What they are thinking, education means how to read and how to write, only this thing. That's why they were saying this is take only short time, this is going to be take to read and write, and an equally short time to forget all they had learned, and the same thing. So it's a contrast thing. See, it's a very funny thing, means they are having this mindset, means education means to read and write, in very short time you can learn how to read and how to write, and in the same time, means in the short time you also can forget all the things whatever you learned. They were frankly skeptical. Now, frankly is called honest, and skeptical is called very suspicious. Means not very clear. Means they themselves are not very clear okay, what they were saying. Means anything which you are learning in a very small time, and you can forget that thing in a small time. Now, as soon as the children of the village were old enough to work in the fields, they become economically important to their families. Obviously, when all the boys and girls, they are in their childhood, in their teenage, they need safety and shelter of their parents and home. But as they are growing up, all the family members started that thinking that now they are going to help us in the economy, in the finance, in earning the money. Against that argument, education carried very little weight. Now, all the persons are not, all the villagers, they are not understanding what the education can do, but they understand if our children grown up, they become young men, now they must started to do something job, to start working something business, so that they can earn money and bring it home. But they cannot understand the importance of work education in working manner. They told what is the importance of education in if in working. Rashid assured them that the children would learn really useful thing in school. Now, see, Rashid has to give the information according to themselves. I told you earlier also, villagers are uneducated. You cannot show your intelligence to them. Okay, you have to understand their mindset, and accordingly you have to talk to them. Accordingly, you have to help them. Now, how Rashid persuaded them? Now, Rashid was saying, see, your children are coming to school, that is fine. We are going to educate them. We are going to make them to learn how to write and how to read. But at the same time, they are going to learn very useful thing. Now, what type of thing? How to enrich the soil. Enrich is called to make prosperous, to make more useful. Okay. Soil is called mud. Okay. In which they grow the crops. Okay. So Rashid was saying, we are going to teach your children how to make the soil very prosperous, very beneficial, more useful, how to make the land more productive. The land on which you are growing your crops, productive is called to produce more thing. Means you are, if you are growing crops, then we teach your children then how to grow more crops. Still the parents were not convinced is called to get ready. So many things, anyhow, so many examples, so many benefits of the education was given by the Rashid, but so the parents of the village students are not going to be ready or not going to be listened very carefully. Finally, he said, and at the end, he said, I told them that if they would send their children to my school, I would provide them the means for their livelihood. Means now Rashid came to the exact point and told them कि if you are going to send, if your children are going to come to the school, I'm going to teach them a different thing that is very benefit for you. So continuing his talk, Rashid was saying, I would provide them the mean to reel cotton for an hour every day. Now reel cotton means cotton is a type of thread. Okay, you must have seen the white thread through which your mother do stitching. Okay, and reel is called to roll them over a to make the stitch thread. Okay, so Rashid was saying, I will also teach them how to reel the cotton. Means cotton is made out of, the cotton is a crop. Okay, and out of that crop we make the thread, cotton thread. So he is going to teach how to make thread. At last the villagers saw some concrete good in education. Concrete is called real. Okay, so when Rashid talk according to the villagers, now villagers is going to understand the importance of education. The spools of cotton can be sold for a few piece each, less than a penny. Now Rashid is talking about their how they can earn money. Means if the children are coming into their school, this will also help to earn money. How they are going to make spools. Spools is called in which on which a different thread is going to be roll on. Like we have the spools now of white color thread, red color thread, black color thread, like that. Okay, so Rashid was saying, if I teach them how to make thread from the cotton, and then I teach them how to make the spools of different color of cotton, and then you can sell those spools in the market and you can earn money. You can earn little money, but you can earn money less than a penny. Penny is called 1 rupee and few piece is called 25 paise. Means 1/4 of the money you can earn, but enough to make a substantial difference to the family finances. Now substantial is called a real difference. Means family finance is called whatever the family economy or finance is coming. Means they can earn money, that will be a little money, but that will be a real, that will make a real difference. Means a type of add on. Means if you are earning 5 rupees, then more another 25 paisa will come, so you are having more money. I want my point. They helped build the schoolhouse. Now Rashid, when Rashid told about this, now they are going to be ready and they are ready to help him to build a schoolhouse. And the children come here every day until they are old enough to help their parents in the fields. Now the villagers are ready. Okay, we are going to send our children, and until they are going to be young men or teenage, they are going to coming in the school, and after that they can help their parents in the fields. We reached a group of children in a corner of the yard who were building a relief map. Now again we come in the present day, okay, where Rashid, Kitty and the other person was there. So now all three of them went in a corner of the yard or in the open area. In a corner some of the student was sitting and they all were building a relief map. You also know, and relief something that going to be relaxed. Means they were building, they were just drawing a type of building map. Some were soaking mehendi leaves on to make a red dye to color the countries. Now they have to make a map. Means they were making map on the paper, and some of the students, soaking is called to soak something, to make something wet, like mehendi leaves were there, mehendi that we put in our hand na, those leaves, those leaves were soaked in the water so that the water become red, and they will do that red color to make the countries in the map. Means in map we are going to show the countries na, but the color is so much expensive for them, so they make different color themselves. So they were making red color through the mehendi leaves, and some of the students were drawing the map, the building maps for the countries. Now, it is astonishing, said Kitty. Astonishing is called wonderful, means Kitty was very feeling very wonderful. Wow, children are making maps themselves, means maps we used to be take from the stationer shop, from the market, but these children were making the map themselves. How they can accept the idea of world geography when they have never been further than 20 miles from their village? Now Kitty was, why Kitty was wondering? Kitty was wondering, see, those children are living in so small village, they never gone out from their small village outside, and they are drawing a total geography map in their school. So this is very wonderful thing. Rashid looked round the class with affection and triumph. Now Rashid bring them in the class, and he was looking all around the class with affection is called love, and triumph is called conquer, victory, means a type of victory sense was there. See, I have built the classroom. It was much easier to get the villagers to consent to co-education and than it would have been to get the consent of town people. Means villagers were ready. Co-education means in the school both the boys and girls are coming and taking the education, but for the town people means the people who are living in the towns, means city area. Okay, so villagers to the consent is called the assent, means their we can to say they are ready. Okay, their opinion, okay, means they are ready in their opinion to send their boys and girls in the same school to get the education. And this consent we have to, whatever the consent we are going to have in the mind of the city people. I hope industrialism doesn't draw our people into the cities too soon. Now, industrialism is called to making factories, buildings, and apartments like that. Okay, means doesn't draw. Draw is called to pull something, draw the attention of the people, and draw the people. So I hope industrialization or industrialism doesn't draw our people in the city. If we are going to provide them everything in the village, then the village people will not go city. Why villagers go to city? Because in the cities they can find a school, they can find hospital, they can find factories, they can find home to live. But if we are providing all these things, if we want to start these things slowly, gradually, then why all the villagers will go to city? They lost their independence, they lost that independence of a spirit that only ownership and the land can give. But once they went to village, to city, then they lost their freedom. Independence is called freedom, because in city you have to be work according to the city environment. You cannot, ownership is called mastership, means if you are living in a village, village is of your own. If you are living in a village and doing something in your village, then you are the master of that thing. But if you are living outside of the village, then you cannot be a master. There will be less freedom, less mastership, and you have to be work under the rules. Late that afternoon, when we were leaving Okhla, Kitty asked Rashid to come into Delhi and have dinner at her house. Now, Kitty is having her house where? In Delhi. So, Kitty was offering to have dinner with her to Rashid and to invite him to come to Delhi. Or do you have your mother's class tonight? She remembered suddenly, and in the funny way she asked, and she remembered something, and she asked, do you have a class with your mother tonight? Then no, he answered, that isn't until tomorrow. I would like very much to dine with you. Then Rashid replied, no, I am not having any class, and that class will be tomorrow. So I am going to come to you to have dinner. Do tell my niece about your success with the ladies, Rashid ji, Kitty suggested. Now Kitty suggested means to say something like you do this. Okay, suggested means when you are taking something, yes, please do this for me. So Kitty was saying, and niece is called bhatiji, that you call. Okay, so Kitty was saying, please tell all the success you brought now in your village, like you opened the school, you how you make how you get villagers ready to send their children in the school. Do tell all these things to my niece and to other ladies when you come to take dinner. Rashid looked at me pinkly. I am afraid your aunt rather misrepresent the incident. Now Rashid was pinkly is called with shyness, with a little shyness, when your cheeks became pink, when you feel some shyness. So Rashid was saying, no, if I would say this thing, then maybe your aunt, means Kitty's aunt, can be take this thing. Incident is called some tale, some happened thing. Okay, ghatna, just that you all say. And misrepresent means that is not presented accurately, clearly. Okay, your aunt can say, no, this thing is, Rashid is not saying this thing very right. Some of my pupils is called students. Some of my pupils, you see, after they had been coming to school for some month, must have carried home favorable reports to their parents. Now Rashid again was talking about a positive thing, means whatever the student come to his school to get the education, they are going back to their home with a positive report, means they got the success in their education. So continuing his talk, Rashid was saying, I would provide them the mean to reel cotton for an hour every day. Now reel cotton means, cotton is a type of thread. Okay, you must have seen the white thread through which your mother do stitching. Okay, and reel is called to roll them over a, to make the stitch thread. Okay, so Rashid was saying, I will also teach them how to reel the cotton, means cotton is made out of, the cotton is a crop. Okay, and out of that crop we make the thread, cotton thread. So he is going to teach how to make thread. At last the villagers saw some concrete good in education. Concrete is called real. Okay, so when Rashid talk according to the villagers, now villagers is going to understand the importance of education. The spools of cotton can be sold for a few piece each, less than a penny. Now Rashid is talking about there how they can earn money. Means if the children are coming into their school, they, this will also help to earn money. How? They are going to make spools. Spools is called in which, on which different thread is going to be roll on. Like we have the spools now of white color thread, red color thread, black color thread, like that. Okay, so Rashid was saying, if I teach them how to make thread from the cotton, and then I teach them how to make the spools of different color of cotton, and then you can sell those spools in the market and you can earn money. You can earn little money, but you can earn money less than a penny. Penny is called 1 rupee, and few piece is called 25 paise, means one fourth of the money you can earn, but enough to make a substantial difference to the family finances. Now substantial is called a real difference, means family finance is called whatever the family economy or finance is coming, means they can earn money. That will be a little money, but that will be a real, that will make a real difference, means a type of add on. Means if you are earning 5 rupees, then more another 25 paisa will come, so you are having more money. I won my point. They helped build the schoolhouse. Now Rashid, when Rashid told about this, now they are going to be ready, and they are ready to help him to build a schoolhouse. And the children come here every day until they are old enough to help their parents in the fields. Now the villagers are ready. Okay, we are going to send our children, and until they are going to be young men or teenage, they are going to coming in the school, and after that they can help their parents in the fields. We reached a group of children in a corner of the yard who were building a relief map. Now again we come in the present day, okay, where Rashid, Kitty and the other person was there. So now all three of them went in a corner of the yard, or in the open area in a corner. Some of the student was sitting, and they all were building a relief map. You also know, and relief something that going to be relaxed, means they were building, they were just drawing a type of building map. Some were soaking mehendi leaves on to make a red dye to color the countries. Now they have to make a map. means they were making map on the paper, and some of the students, soaking is called to soak something, to make something wet, like mehendi leaves were there, mehendi that we put in our hand na, those leaves, those leaves were soaked in the water, so that the water become red, and they will do that red color to make the countries in the map. Means in map we are going to show the countries na, but the color is so much expensive for them, so they make different color themselves, so they were making red color through the mehendi leaves, and one or some of the students were drawing the map, the building maps for the countries. Now it is astonishing, said Kitty. Astonishing is called wonderful. Means Kitty was very feeling very wonderful. Wow, children are making maps themselves. Means maps we used to be take from the stationer shop, from the market. But these children were making the map themselves. How they can accept the idea of world geography when they have never been further than 20 miles from their village? Now Kitty was, why Kitty was wondering? Kitty was wondering, see, those children are living in so small village. They never gone out from their small village outside, and they are drawing a total geography map in their school. So this is very wonderful thing. Rashid looked round the class with affection and triumph. Now Rashid bring them in the class, and he was looking all around the class with affection is called love, and triumph is called conquer, victory. Means a type of victory sense was there. See, I have built the classroom. It was much easier to get the villagers to consent to co-education, and than it would have been to get the consent of town people. Means villagers were ready. Co-education means in the school both the boys and girls are coming and taking the education, but for the town people means the people who are living in the towns, means city area. Okay, so villagers to the consent is called the assent. Means their we can to say they are ready. Okay, their opinion. Okay, means they are ready in their opinion to send their boys and girls in the same school to get the education. And this consent we have to, whatever the consent we are going to have in the mind of the city people. I hope industrialism doesn't draw our people into the cities too soon. Now, industrialism is called to making factories, buildings, and apartments like that. Okay, means doesn't draw. Draw is called to pull something, draw the attention of the people, and draw the people. So I hope industrialization or industrialism doesn't draw our people in the city. If we are going to provide them everything in the village, then the village people will not go city. Why villagers go to city? Because in the cities they can find a school, they can find hospital, they can find factories, they can find home to live. But if we are providing all these things, if we want to start these things slowly, gradually, then why all the villagers will go to city? They lost their independence. They lost that independence of a spirit that only ownership and the land can give. But once they went to village, to city, then they lost their freedom. Independence is called freedom, because in city you have to be work according to the city environment. You cannot, ownership is called mastership. Means if you are living in a village, village is of your own. If you are living in a village and doing something in your village, then you are the master of that thing. But if you are living outside of the village, then you cannot be a master. There will be less freedom, less mastership, and you have to be work under the rules. Late that afternoon, when we were leaving Okhla, Kitty asked Rashid to come into Delhi and have dinner at her house. Now, Kitty is having her house where? In Delhi. So, Kitty was offering to have dinner with her to Rashid and to invite him to come to Delhi. Or do you have your mother's class tonight? She remembered suddenly, and in the funny way she asked, and she remembered something, and she asked, do you have a class with your mother tonight? Then no, he answered, that isn't until tomorrow. I would like very much to dine with you. Then Rashid replied, no, I am not having any class, and that class will be tomorrow. So I am going to come to you to have dinner. Do tell my niece about your success with the ladies, Rashid ji, Kitty suggested. Now, Kitty suggested means to say something like you do this, okay? Suggested means when you are taking something, yes, please do this for me. So, Kitty was saying, and niece is called Bhatiji that you call, okay? So, Kitty was saying, please tell all the success you brought now in your village, like you opened the school, you how you make how you get villagers ready to send their children in the school. Do tell all these things to my niece and to other ladies when you come to take dinner. Rashid looked at me pinkly. I am afraid your aunt rather misrepresent the incident. Now Rashid was pinkly is called with shyness, with a little shyness, when your cheeks became pink, when you feel some shyness. So Rashid was saying, no, if I would say this thing, then maybe your aunt, means Kitty's aunt, can be take this thing. Incident is called some tale, some happened thing. Okay, ghatna, just that you all say. And misrepresent means that is not presented accurately, clearly. Okay, your aunt can say, no, this thing is, Rashid is not saying this thing very right. Some of my pupils is called students. Some of my pupils, you see, after they had been coming to school for some month, must have carried home favorable reports to their parents. Now, Rashid again was talking about a positive thing, means whatever the student come to his school to get the education, they are going back to their home with a positive report, means they got the success in their education. Indeed, their mothers were so impressed that one day several of men of the village came to me to ask whether their wives could learn as well. Now see the positivity Rashid talking about, means how hardly he make all the villagers ready to send their children to school, but after getting the success, after their children know how to read, how to write, and they got so much information about all the things, and when they going back to their home and tell all the things whatever they learned in the school to their mothers, then villagers became so happy. Then several of men, several means many, they became so impressed that then many man came to Rashid and tell, do our ladies can also come to school to learn the education? Of course, I was delighted with the success of the school. Now Rashid was so happy that yes, villager now started understanding the importance of education. He looked at Kitty. He was looking at Kitty, but there was a serious drawback. Drawback is called something that is pulling you back. Okay, drawback is called that is not a disadvantage, you can say. Okay, but there was a serious disadvantage. Most of these women were Muslims, and consequently could meet no man except their husband. But most of the women who were living in the village, they belong to Muslim caste, and as you know, Muslims, the women used to wear that, what do we say, nakab or hijab. Okay, means they are not allowed to see any other person besides their husband. So how they can come to school and get education? So this was the difficulty. Imagine what a dilemma. Dilemma is called confusion, a problem. So now imagine is called think. Now think what is a type of problem is this. I could not let the opportunity pass. But see, the villagers come to me themselves. Then how can I miss this opportunity? Yet I could not teach the woman. But I cannot teach the woman, means Rashid was saying about this all the past, means this all happened, and Rashid was saying all this thing to Kitty, means how he make villagers ready to send their kids first, and how the villagers then come and they prayed Rashid to educate their ladies also. So he was saying, I cannot teach them because I was a man, and Muslim women cannot open their faces and cannot come to school and take the education from a other person. Eventually, I reached a solution and pleased all parties. Eventually means finally. Finally, Rashid has taken out a solution of this problem, and please is called to make happy and make everyone happy. How and what was the solution? Now, 2 evening a week, a woman gather in the largest room of the school while I lecture to them from behind a screen with my eyes covered. Now, what was the solution? The solution was taken out in the evening time, means in the morning and daytime they are going to complete their household work. Okay, so when all the women completed their household work. In the evening time, they all will come, and there will be a big room of the school. All the women is going to be collected in that room, and there will be a screen. A screen is called a type of curtain, and there will be a curtain remain, and Rashid will be behind the curtain, and he is going to cover his eyes. He is going to fold a type of cloth over his eyes, so he cannot see something, means he was not allowed to see the Muslim women, and like that he is going to teach them. See how much hard work Rashid is paying to give the education. After some further discussion between Kitty and Rashid about extending the village school system to other communities around Delhi. Now, Rashid and Kitty, they all were discussing about how they can expand their education, how they can expand is called to spread over, to extend, to increase their educational system around the communities. Communities is called different type of community, like Maheshwari community, Brahman community. So different type of social communities are there, means so they just want to spread their education, means right now villagers are taking education, now they want to spread their education in other community of Delhi. So they were talking about that. Kitty and I left, and when their talk conversation finished, then they went. But that evening at dinner, talk of the school about what resumed. Now resume means to begin again. But when they met on dinner, okay, Kitty invited Rashid for dinner, so now they met at dinner table. But and again they started to talk about the education. Resumed means it started again. Rashid had come in on a Rickety bus that passes through Okhla twice a day. Now Kitty came to school by her car, okay, and Rashid go to Delhi by a rickety bus. Now rickety is called something very old, like that it is going to be fall down. Okay, some very old bus was there, which run two times a day from Okhla to Delhi, and Delhi was, means Okhla was very nearby Delhi. Okay, so Rashid come to Delhi by a bus, true to his promise, means he promised Kitty that he is going to come on the dinner. That's why he came. And mother was much interested in what I had to tell to visit to Okhla. And Kitty's mother was very much interested, and Rashid and mother was very much interested in what I had told to tell to visit of Okhla. Means Rashid told these all things to his mother, that Kitty visited, and we all were talking about to spread our education. So mother also took about that, and he was interested in listening to this. It must have needed a great deal of courage to carry through a scheme like that, she said, turning to Rashid. Now, mother was saying, you are going to do very good job, but it is going to take very much courage. Courage is called spirit. Okay, very much hard spirit you want to complete this. Not courage so much as hard work and money. Then Rashid is replying, not. Courage will come itself, but from where? The money we needed, and we need hard work. He replied, the officials don't really interfere in the matter like this. Now official means the type of official person, the government person, and government person interfere is called to come in between of any matter. Okay, so all the officials, all the government persons, when we go to take help from them, they are not interested, they are least interested. You see, theoretically they are on the side of the education for all people, and theoretically means in the book, in the newspaper, in their speech, they are talking about education. But when we exactly go to them, approach them that please give me finance, give me money to open a school in the village, they all are not interested. This is the real condition of the country. I believe Kitty put in, but Rashid say, I believe Kitty can do something in this, that there are even some laws to that effect for all the good they do. Because some of the laws are there which we can follow, and we can get the help to open a school. But actually they might as well forbid people to go to school. Forbid is called to deny, not to do. Okay, then but actually they can also tell the people, don't go to school. The damage would be about the same, because naturally we cannot afford public schools on any national scale unless they are subsidized by the government. Now subsidized is called to give subsidy. So to call subsidy is called to give something money. Means if they want to do something open, like school is a very big thing. School is a very big building, and that cannot be built in less money or a little money. They need too much money, and from where the money will come? From government side. Okay, so that's why he's saying if we are serving the public to open a school, we cannot do anything without the subsidy of the government. Until the government will provide us money, we cannot open the school. As long as we don't ask for financial aid, we are left undisturbed. Means agar if we approach to government to ask about the money, then government has to provide the money. Then what they will do, they will come to the village and tell the village peoples, don't send your children to school. If school is not going to be open, then they have not to be provide the money. So Rashid was saying, Rashid is in this approach, in this opinion, if we are not going to government, if we are not disturbing the government, government is not going to give us the financial aid. Aid is called help and financial is called money. If they are not going to give help us with money, they are not going to disturb us also. Rashid smiled timidly as though he were expecting to be contradicted. Now, timidly is called weakly, means a little smile. Okay, expecting means to expect something, to make something, to think something, to achieve. And contradictory means two different thing. Means Rashid was smiling, means two different thing he was saying himself. At one side he was saying we need financial help from the government, and at another side he was saying if we going to for the financial help to the government, government is going to come to a village and say don't open the school and make the villagers and change their mind. So I mean that kind of courage, mother said. I mean the courage it would need to build a word. Then mother said, I'm not saying the courage or that type of courage means you are physically strong. I mean the courage, that type of courage that is very much required to build a word. Word means you are giving education, means you are building a word through the education. How can we build the word? We can build the word on the basis of getting educated more and more people. I know if I had the job on my hands, I won't have the least idea what to put into it. Now, see, Rashid was saying, if I am going to have a job, then I have to do my job, then I cannot think about, I cannot give my time into this. She hesitated. Now, mother was hesitating. Hesitating is means feeling some type of confusion. These children are never going to forget what you tell them now. But she was saying, whatever you are going to tell with your children, they are not going to forget this. It must be an almost frightening responsibility. Now, frightening is gone very big, very afraid, a type of fearful responsibility. Means this is very big responsibility. Nobody is going to be take. But if you are promising something to your student, they are not going to forget it. Can you say to this Muslim? Then she was asking, can you say the same thing to Muslim also? It is wrong to marry twice, means the same thing. The general thing she was saying, can you say to Muslims it is wrong to marry twice, means in Muslim they are allowed to marry two times. But can you say कि you are marrying two times, it is not right. Or to Hindus it is not sinful to eat beef, means Hindu, if you are eating beef is called the meat of cow. Okay, if you are eating meat of cow, then it is very much sinful is called, it is not legal, it is a type of sin. Because in Hindus we are going to worship of cow, and if you are eating the cow meat, it is a type of sin. So you can say to Hindu that if you are eating cow meat, then it is okay. If you are doing two times of marrying, if you are to Muslim, then it is okay. Can you say these things to Hindu and Muslim? She looked across the table at Premila and me and added. Now, when Rashid asked all this, then mother looked, there was another person, Premila. Then he was looking at Premila and me, and again she started telling, in the West, they get out of it easily. West means abroad, the abroad places, the outsider word, like Western word, USA, America and Britain, they were talking about that. Okay, they all do this thing in West. They very easily, these things are followed in the foreign country. They teach their children rigidly and then say rely on your conscience, because rigidly is called very firmly, confidently. Okay, they all means the outsider people, the abroad people, they teach their children this is children very rigidly, with a strong intention, with confidence, that rely on your conscience. Rely is called trust. Okay, conscience is called your soul, your spirit, means you should have trust on your soul, on your heart. It will tell you good from bad. Now, oh, so many people will come to you and tell so many things, but you have to listen to your heart. Your heart will say what is wrong and what is right. My daughters hate generalization like this. Generalization thing, when you keep all the thing in the same manner, means nothing is bigger, nothing is smaller, nothing is important, nothing is weaker, nothing is very superior, nothing is inferior. So my daughter hates, she was talking about the daughters, means this type of, when you keep all the things in a general way, in a same limit, in a same slab, then this is not going to be tolerated by my daughter. But I have always thought that Indians are rather rational people. But he was saying, he thinks all the Indian peoples are practical. Rational is called practical, means they are not listening towards their heart, they are listening towards their mind. And for us, I find reason and conscience are mutual correctives. Now, correlative, sorry. Co-reactive is called, co is called sath sath, together, and reactive when you are showing your reaction on something, and mutual is called means consigned. They are ready from both side, means two things are there, one at one side their mind, and one side there is your heart. Reason is called your intelligence and conscience is your called heart. Means Indian people can think with their mind as well as with their heart. They are having their mutual understanding. She smiled disarmingly is called peacefully, means very peaceful smile was there on the face of her, of his mother. Am I wrong, Rashid ji? Means all these thing was spoken by Rashid's mother. And yeah, she was saying if she was wrong, all the things was right, means all the Indians think about their mind also and about their heart also.